Two horses stand side by side at the rail, both covered in wild splashes of white and color. To most people, they look identical. But here's the twist. One is a paint, the other a pinto, and they are not the same thing. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the difference in 10 seconds and avoid the #1 mistake that costs horse buyers thousands of dollars. Let's start with the simple truth that isn't so simple. A paint horse is a breed. A pinto is a color pattern. Easy, right? Not so fast, because here comes the first surprise. Not all paints have spots. To be registered as a paint, a horse has to come from approved bloodlines, either American paint horse, quarter horse, or thoroughbred. It's the family tree that matters. Even if a paint is solid bay, black, or chestnut, as long as the papers trace back to those lines, it's still a paint. The official term is solid paint bred. Now let's talk about the pinto. Pinto isn't a breed at all. It's simply a color pattern. The Pinto Horse Association welcomes many breeds if they carry that beautiful patchwork coat. You can have Pinto Arabians, Pinto Saddlebreds, Pinto Minis, even Pinto Warmbloods. So if paint tells you who the horse is, Pinto just tells you what it looks like. Here comes cliffhanger number 2, the gene every breeder needs to know about. Some horses with the Overo pattern carry a hidden danger called lethal White Overo Syndrome. Breed 2 carriers together and the foal can be born completely white and unable to survive. That's why smart breeders test for the LWO gene before any mating plan begins. Now let's go pattern spotting, literally. The Tobiano pattern looks smooth and rounded. White crosses over the back, the legs are often white, and the color wraps around the chest and flanks like a shield. The Overo pattern splashes up the sides and doesn't cross the back, sharp edges, big white faces, and dark legs. There's also Sabino, with frosted edges, and Splash, where the horse looks like it walked through a bucket of white paint. And when those patterns mix, you get Tovero, half Tobiano, half Overo. Here's another cliffhanger. Can a thoroughbred be a pinto? Absolutely. If it has those coat patterns, it can register with the Pinto Horse Association. But can it be a paint? Only if it also has the right bloodlines. Paint, quarter horse, or thoroughbred parents approved by the APHA. That's the key difference. Paint is about pedigree. Pinto is about paint job. Let's roll the clock back for a second. In the early days, flashy-colored quarter horses weren't allowed into their own registry. Owners who loved those horses formed the American Paint Horse Association, preserving the stock horse body, strong shoulders, short backs, deep hips, and celebrating their unique color. Meanwhile, the Pinto Registry said, color first, breed second. That's why today, you can find pintos in many shapes and disciplines. Hunters, saddle seat, even ponies. Here's cliffhanger number 4, the mistake buyers make again and again. They fall in love with the spots and forget to ask about what's underneath. They buy a pinto thinking it's a paint, or they buy a paint thinking it'll ride like a warm blood. But color doesn't equal purpose. A horse's job, ranch work, trail, show ring, depends on its type, not its coat. So here's your 10-second field test. If it's got a strong, muscular stock horse body, and the papers say APHA, it's a paint. If it's from another breed and just happens to have those patches of white, it's a pinto. Remember, a paint can be a pinto, but a pinto isn't always a paint. Let's make it stick. Paint equals pedigree. Pinto equals pattern. One comes from a family tree, the other from a paintbrush of genetics. When you're standing at the fence watching two spotted horses trot by, they may look identical at first glance. But look again. One carries history. The quarter horsepower, the thoroughbred stride, the APHA papers that trace its legacy. The other carries artistry, the dazzling coat that nature painted, no matter what breed, lies beneath. So the next time someone asks, "Hey, is that a paint or a pinto?" you'll smile and say, "Depends. Are we talking bloodlines or brushstrokes? Because that's the real difference. Paint is the breed. Pinto is the color. And in the end, the beauty of a horse isn't just in the pattern on its coat. It's in the purpose it was born to ride."